High formation. Harden in the backfield. Now they shift him over. Back to pass. Whitaker again. Steps up. He fires it long down here for Sherrod. It's tipped in the air and caught for the touchdown by Brendan Sherrod on the deflection. Sherrod's first touchdown of the year. And Davenport scores again. Sure. And with that, we welcome you to the Davenport Football Coaches Show. A lot of excitement Saturday in Davenport's big win, 51-17. Over Northwood University on homecoming day. We welcome you to the Davenport Coaches Show. I'm Rick Berkey, the head coach, football coach. Sparky McEwen is here. Head soccer coach Chris Hughes is here. He's going to join us a little bit later. Plus, we got a special guest, a top-notch, record-breaking player from this football team that we'll get to a little bit right on. But Sparky, we were chatting just briefly before we went on there. You had it going on both sides of the ball, and we talked last week about how in the 4 previous games with Northwood in our small history, every one of those came down to the last minute, and one touchdown or less decided the game. And you had it going on both sides, and it had to be maybe one of the most satisfying wins for your program all the way across the board.
It was because we were going against a respected program, one that was part of the Gliac family for many years, and our players were very familiar with, their players. Our coaching staffs are familiar, and it was just one of those deals where we were able to put it all together. Man, they had some mistakes in there, and we were able to capitalize off of them. But, I got to give credit to where it's due. Our players, man, our kids, they came out and they played with a good energy level. Like I said, you don't get those things done unless you respect your opponent. And our guys came out and I felt like we prepared them. We prepared them to go in and have a tough ball game. And they exceeded my expectations for that game. Well,
right at the top, of course, Jason Whitaker, your quarterback, started his first start as a Panther. He's played certainly and contributed mightily in the first 2 games, but he came on, set a school record with 5 touchdown passes, 360 yards passing. But overall, we're going to get Jason as our special guest. We'll get to him a little bit later on. But you had 586 total yards on offense, another school record.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here, of late. And Rick, you've known me for a while, and my background's always been offense. But if you get a chance to really sit down with me and know who I am, at my roots, every program I've been a part of, I've built my defenses first. And I feel like if you build your defense, you always have a shot, And our defenses have always given us a shot. And hats off to, our DC, Adrian McEwen and Coach Walker and Mello. They do an incredible job of keeping us competitive on that side of the ball. And now, our entire staff work to fill out this offense and make sure this offense can be productive and make sure we're gelling. And right now, man, we're just we're starting to put some things together. We still got a lot of work ahead of us. And I think if we can continue to get these young men to gel, that, we can be tough in the GLIAC as we open up this week.
You mentioned your defense, 3 interceptions in the game. And Nick Kane, who got one of those 3, actually had a second one that was wiped out by a penalty, I think, on the other side of the field. It didn't affect the play at all. So you got some ball hawks back there now.
Yeah, we do. And, if you go back a couple years to Brian Williams, we had a first-team All-American here. And our defense, I could honestly say our defense gets, respect from, not only teams across our conference, but, across the D2 landscape. We've been a group that, have been pretty consistent from day one, and they continue to do a good job for us. And we actually had two picks in that game that was called back.
That's right.
Because of an Achilles heel that we have, and that's penalties. That's something that we're still cleaning up. So I'm happy, that we're headed in the right direction, but there's still things, some discipline things that we must clean up.
Back to your offense, though, you've got a wealth of talent at the receiving slot. Roy Livingstone, 111 yards on 5 catches, ties the school record with 3 touchdown receptions. Cy Barnett, 7 grabs for just under 100 yards receiving. And Preston Smith, 4 catches for 63 yards and a touchdown as well. Alonzo Henderson came in and made some nice catches for you.
Yeah, we got a pretty good group of receivers there. My hats have to go off to a coach that I had here working with those guys, and Coach Taylor. He actually took them to another level in regards to their smarts and their football IQ. And we were very disappointed that we lost him, but then I was able to bring in a guy by the name of Jimmy Hill, man, that, out of Florida. This guy's, he's incredible. So Taylor kind of passed the torch to Hill, and Hill's taking that group, and they're taking that next step, man, and we've got a very talented group. They love playing for Coach Hill. They love playing for our quarterbacks, and I'm excited. We're having fun. We're having fun, and they're hard workers, and they're tough. As a coach, that's all you can ask for.
And I didn't even mention Brendan Sherrod, who made that nice reaction on that deflection for his touchdown pass that we started the show with as well. What's interesting, too, offensively is last week, the previous week, it was your rushing game that dominated and led the way to victory offensively, and this time through the air.
Well, if you go back to week 1, we did it through the air, and then week 2, we were able to, get it on the ground, and we made that a special emphasis in practice that we must be able to run the football. And then all of a sudden we're rolling into this game, and we knew we had to have a complete effort in order to be successful in this game, because we saw some things in the film with Northwood and Saginaw and our players. They saw some things as well. They saw how tough of a team Northwood could be, and so we knew we needed a total team effort. And I didn't think this early in the year that we could put it all together for that one game.
All right, well, you're 3-0, and you start the GLIAC season this Saturday. Our opponent, a tough team, always comes down and plays you tough. And we're up there, down here, Michigan Tech. We're going to talk about that in our final segment. Why don't you go enjoy some good Uccello's food. We're going to get to that wonderful Jason Whitaker quarterback that you brought in this year, and who's done a marvelous job for you.
Absolutely.
All right, Coach Sparky McEwen will take a timeout. Come back with Jason Whitaker as you watch and listen to the Davenport Coaches Show, live from Uccello's in Caledonia.
West Michigan home buyers, if you're considering lenders, please contact Mario Flores at 231-638-0200 at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore. It's a wonderful time to be in the market for a mortgage when you choose Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore. Van Dyke's loan experts know how to help you prepare and help you get approved. Don't wait for the market to be perfect. Start your planning with Mario Flores, branch manager at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore.
Mario Flores, NMLS number 135862. Van Dyke Mortgage Corporation, Corp. NMLS number 3035. 231-638-0200. MarioFlores.VanDykeMortgage.com. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
First and goal at the 8. Beef to the right. They'll give it. No, they won't. Slant pattern. Throw over the middle. Caught for the touchdown. Preston Smith with a beautiful grab. A record-breaking grab as Jason Whitaker throws his 5th touchdown of the game. A new Davenport record. And with that, we resume our broadcast here on the Coaches Show. And Jason Whitaker, who is joining us right now. Set a school record in his first start there, Jason. It's been a great trip back home for you. A Rockford native, an outstanding high school career at Rockford, not only on the athletic field, but also academically, as you were an outstanding student at Rockford. And now you've come back, and I don't imagine that this homecoming could have been much better for you so far.
Oh, man, yeah. I mean, it was obviously a great time getting out there with the guys this Saturday. Awesome homecoming crowd. Just an awesome opportunity, and glad we got the win.
Jason, let's talk about that transition. You come from Northwestern. You got your degree from Northwestern. You were there for 4 years. Got just a spot playing a little bit, but mostly you were there for your academics, and you got your undergrad degree. Now you come over here. It's always a challenge adjusting, as far as getting to know the players and adjusting that. Tell us about that adjustment and that transition for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think coming into any new environment, there's a kind of a like you said, an adjustment period. Everyone's got a different culture, and it was kind of like that. Coming to Davenport, getting to know the guys. Learning the ins and outs of how they do things here. Obviously, there's a lot of similarities with Northwestern and Davenport's culture, but there are some differences. So, it took me a little bit to kind of get used to things, but I feel like once preseason camp came around, and once the season got going, I'm feeling really good about it. So.
While you didn't get the snaps you'd hoped for at Northwestern, what did you learn as a player at Northwestern that helps you today?
Oh, man. I learned so much at Northwestern. Coach Fitz, I still think he's one of the greatest coaches.
I never heard a former player of his that didn't love that guy.
Yeah, he really is the man, and he's taught me so much. On the not only on the field but off the field as well. Just about life and how to handle yourself off the field and even on the field too. Like I feel like that's really where I found my love for the game at Northwestern, and really started to understand the game of football at a higher level. And I can, I just, thank Coach Fitz and the coaches there for giving me that. So,
Jason, I have to ask you this: did you realistically think, when you came from a Division I Power 5 program to a Division II school, that you'd have the wealth of receivers that you have on this year's team?
Oh my goodness! Oh man. I mean, I knew we were talented, when I was getting recruited by Coach Sparky, but I didn't know we were this talented, man. We got some dudes, man. We really do. There's there's probably 4 or 5 guys right now that I know could start at a D1 program. So
I spoke with Johnny Saavedra at spring game and also with Coach McEwen about it, and he said that the quarterback room going throughout the whole summer, even though you were certainly competing for that starting spot, that there was a pretty good unification there in the quarterback room. Oh,
definitely, yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that I really appreciate about our quarterback room here is like we all want to see each other succeed. And we had a good time this summer, going out and golfing together and just having fun just outside of the locker room. So and we still I feel like that's carried over to the season too. Whoever's in, we all want the best for them. We don't have bad blood against anyone. We cheer each other on. We support each other. Whoever's in, the other quarterbacks are looking at the defense, looking at what they're seeing, and constantly giving each other feedback. So I think that is a huge testament to the success we've been having this year. So it's been good.
You got your undergrad degree in business management from Northwestern, but you're going after a master's in education, correct?
Yes, sir. Yep.
What are you looking at doing, after your college days are done, do you think, right now?
I would love to, right now my route is I would love to coach and teach, at a high school or college level. And so that's kind of why I'm, going more in the educational route. I've been so impacted, my career, my playing career by coaches, and I kind of want to give that to the next generation. So that's kind of the route that I'm going for.
Would you like to teach and coach in West Michigan now that you're back home?
I mean, yeah, this is definitely home. Family's here. My roots are definitely here. So I can see myself definitely settling down here, in the near future.
Well, breaking performance, we should mention the GLIAC Offensive Player of the Week this week. That's certainly a terrific honor, and to have your family and friends in the stands watching it had to make it that much more special.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Really thankful that my family lives about 20 minutes down the road from Davenport, so yeah, it's awesome to have them come up and support.
All right, it's always a learning curve. Where do you still have to get better as a quarterback, Jason?
Yeah, no, I definitely think that just being quicker, in and out of my reads. I definitely think I feel like I'm definitely more comfortable with the offense, but I haven't mastered it yet, especially when it comes to the protection calls and when it comes to knowing what the defense is doing. So, I think just constantly getting better at that. So, protection. I think my feet can get a little quicker. Just always rooms to improve.
All right. Well, we're glad to have you here. Not only that, we've got you for another year. You've got, because of the COVID year and the red shirt, you've got another year beyond this. Great to have Jason Whitaker here. So thanks for stopping by, bud. Go enjoy some of that Uccello's food, okay?
Awesome.
We'll take a break. We're going to talk some soccer. Head men's coach Chris Hughes is joining us just a minute here on the Davenport Coaches Show.
Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore's commitment to finding the right home loan for you is second to none. The experienced licensed team at Van Dyke on the Lakeshore will work hard to give you a smooth and timely mortgage process from application to closing. Mario Flores, branch manager, Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore, has access to a full range of mortgage products so that you get the right loan with a great rate, the terms you're looking for, and costs to meet your unique needs. Call Mario Flores at 231-638-0200 today and experience the Van Dyke Mortgage difference.
Mario Flores, NMLS 135862, Van Dyke Mortgage Corporation, Corp NMLS 3035, 231-638-0200, marioflores.vandykemortgage.com. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
And we continue with the Davenport Coaches Show live from Uccello's of Caledonia. Head men's soccer coach Chris Hughes joins us right now. 11th year at the helm of this program and done a fantastic job right away as an NAIA program, and actually won a national championship when we were at NAIA level, and made playoffs and conference titles as well. Then made that transition to Division II NCAA, and he's certainly done well. In fact, his program was the very first one to win a GLIAC title of any kind, and that was in the first year off of the D2, wasn't it, Chris?
First year.
Fantastic, and you won a GLIAC tournament crown there. What a fantastic thing that was. And now, coming off a good weekend this weekend, you won a pair of games on the road at St. Cloud State 4-0, and at Upper Iowa 3-2.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. Lots of traveling, lots of team bonding on the bus. Had a ton of fun. Fed the boys well, and boy, did they perform on the pitch this weekend. Kind of stunned St. Cloud right early in that game, and kind of rode that momentum. The weather was horrendous. There was rain. It was freezing. We forgot to bring the winter coats, and the boys battled. And then Upper Iowa was that was a good battle. We up 2-0, and our opponents, just like in our game, it's pretty tough. They found 2 goals in that second half, and I think in the last minute we found a way to win the game. So pretty good weekend.
Yeah, you got a last-minute goal from that, and then you found out when you got home, Matt Whelan was named the GLIAC Offensive Player of the Week. What a great honor for him. He's got already for you 12 points on 5 goals and 2 assists.
Yeah, part of our message over this last weekend was our offense really lit up nicely, and I think it was needed. I think we've had, over the beginning of the year so far, we've had some good halves. We haven't had a full 90. And this weekend we did. We had some great moments, and Whelan lit fire along with several other boys out there, which helped him look good. But he found the back of the net a couple times and a couple assists. So we needed it. Looking forward to this next weekend. 3-game
unbeaten streak, and 2-2-1 right now in the GLIAC overall. Tell us about this weekend. You mentioned it.
Yeah, we play Purdue Northwest, and they made the transition with us in the NAIA, and so it's always a good rivalry between the two clubs, and we just have one game this weekend, so just them, and they're sitting a place ahead of us, I believe, and we just got to find a way to win, and the boys are ready for it.
Yeah, it should be a dynamite matchup against PNW, and that is on
Saturday.
Okay, Saturday. Great, and that is at PNW, right?
It is.
In Hammond, Indiana.
Yep.
All right, let's go back to that transition. What was the most difficult part of transitioning from NAIA to Division II?
The transition itself, you're not allowed to get into the national tournament. They sit you out for a couple of years, right? And our program was
provisional status.
Yeah. For all those years we were in the national tournament, so it was hard for me and even hard for players knowing when our last day was. And that was the exciting thing about this program in the NAIA, is we never knew when our last day was. Could we go all the way to the national final December 2, 3, or 4? So I'd probably say that was the toughest for our program, was not having the opportunity to get into the national tournament. And then after we got through that couple years, we came in and won the GLIAC tournament championship the first year, and they wouldn't let us advance. So they took the number 2 team, Saginaw Valley State, and push them in, which they ended up losing. But now that we've got that opportunity, we got in the national tournament last year, so the boys got a sniff, a smell of it, and so we're going to try to find that magic again this year.
Specifically, you mentioned they got a taste of it, getting out there, and you got knocked off in the first round. But did you see the guys come back with a different kind of resolve after that?
Yeah, it's hard to, if the boys haven't been there, it's hard, a coach can talk to your blue in the face, but the kids have to experience it on their own. And I remember that moment we walked out in our first training session when we were down there last year, and I told the boys just to, from at the center circle, turn around, take a look at where you are, and just appreciate this moment. We'll be back, and so that's kind of our goal this year, is to get back in the national tournament, and we've got we got to grind it out here a little bit, but I think the boys are ready for it.
We mentioned Matt Whelan's doing an outstanding job for you. Give us a couple other players that are standing out so far in this season, Chris.
Yeah, this weekend all of our strikers scored, so it was pretty special. Justice Sikkema put a couple in and had a real nice weekend for us. One of our newer strikers, Andrew Dykstra, got his first of the year, so that's going to light him on fire. And what you don't want to do as our opponent is get him riled up. So we're looking forward to that. And then our playmakers scored this weekend. We're sitting right in the middle of the field, and then we've got a shutout with our back end, and that's always good for the goalkeeper, good for the team. So in our first game of the weekend, so lots of positives. The boys just were on fire that Friday night, and I think some of that played out on Sunday also.
We mentioned that you're on the road this weekend, but then you come back home October 7 and 9 with a couple of non-conference games at home, right?
No, they are conference. Yep. We've got St. Cloud and kind of the schedule flips. So
that's right.
So we'll play St. Cloud and Upper Iowa that weekend. So giddy up, let's go. Let's find the 3 points or 6 points for the weekend and take care of business. So
all right, let me flip that a little bit. I mentioned a couple of outstanding players you did. Mention maybe a freshman or a newcomer that's come on that maybe going into the season didn't have high expectations, but one or two of them that have impressed you and saying, work their way into minutes, valuable minutes on the turf.
One of our center backs, Micaiah Papa, did a nice job for us as a freshman last year, and was still trying to find his feet last year, but he has really stepped up as a center back for us this year. Almost, I wasn't expecting it, and he has just been a mainstay back there. We did have another transfer come in from Ashland University, and he's turned out just to be a wonderful player in the back end for us. Very, very important. Our goalkeeper is a sophomore, Shano. He's just done a nice job. He's so calm back there. He calms the back end, and another transfer in the middle of the park, Fahim Patel came in. He's been with a Division I, and then a junior college came in to win some games, and I think it's done a real nice job for us in that respect. So if I would say there's a freshman that surprised us in the last 2 games, that would be Keegan Gray. We've got him as a left back. That's not his normal spot, and he has been an absolute terror back there. So coaches are smiling. He's smiling. We're winning a couple games, so we're going to try to roll on that.
Well, that's fantastic. You got a couple home games after this one. Hope you keep it rolling. Best of luck to you again. Mark that down. Not this weekend, but the following weekend. 2 home games, Friday and Sunday. Correct?
Perfect.
Yeah. At the Meyering Field. And Chris Hughes, thanks for stopping by. Go have some food.
Hey, I'll do it. Thanks so much for the invite. See you,
buddy. Always
Bye-bye.
Good to see you, Chris.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll take a break. Come back and talk about this weekend's home football game as Michigan Tech comes down from the UP and Davenport takes its perfect record out on the field one more time here on the Davenport Coaches Show.
West Michigan homebuyers, if you're considering lenders, please contact Mario Flores at 231-638-0200 at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore. It's a wonderful time to be in the market for a mortgage when you choose Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore. Van Dyke's loan experts know how to help you prepare and help you get approved. Don't wait for the market to be perfect. Start your planning with Mario Flores, branch manager at Van Dyke Mortgage on the Lakeshore.
Mario Flores, NMLS number 135862. Van Dyke Mortgage Corporation, Corp. NMLS number 3035. 231-638-0200. MarioFlores.VanDykeMortgage.com. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
And we're back one final time with head coach Sparky McEwen. Look ahead to this Saturday's matchup, another GLIAC contest. In fact, the GLIAC opener against Michigan Tech from the UP. And we want to thank, of course, our able-bodied dynamic duo producers out here at Uccello's of Caledonia. Khalid Schroeder and Abby Wazalewski always bring you the pictures and try to make us look reasonable. We can't look good, but we maybe can look reasonable, and give them credit for that as well. Coach McEwen, let's talk a little bit about Michigan Tech. They come in always. You know you're going to get hit when you play the Huskies. They are a very physical team, no matter what their record is, and they are again this year.
Well, I could just put it this way to you. They are celebrating 100 years of football. How about that? 100 years of football. Tremendous traditions, great history, beautiful place to go up and play, when you go up there and play. Now, on the football side of things, like you said, as advertised, it's always going to be a very physical match, just like every team in this conference. But, they tend to handle business a little differently, okay? Extremely, extremely intelligent football players, the type of players that, you're able to make adjustments on the run. They're able to figure out things, while on the field, okay? And to their coaching staff, that's amazing to be able to put your players in that type of position, and it's very challenging on the opponents. And so we're familiar, we're aware, and we know it's a tall order. This is a team that was, picked to compete for a title in our conference. And they just continue to be a very consistent program.
They seem to have, and they've got another Will Ark. We've seen him before, a good running quarterback. Can throw it, but also it doesn't hesitate to tuck it and go.
I did not know he had another year. It seems like he's been there forever. I got to check his birth certificate because he's been there forever. I remember a couple years ago he's up for Player of the Year in our conference, and but he's a tremendous athlete, and he leads them and keeps them extremely competitive and in position to play for titles. And he does a heck of a job, man. He's one of the guys in this league that coaches will lose sleep over, coordinators, and he commands the offense, okay? And the games that I've watched thus far, they play some unbelievable teams, as they are. And, man, he's making plays, but it's been tough because he's gone against some very tough defenses, and, they've had some unfortunate breaks as well. So this team could very easily be on the other end of the record in which they are now. So, but he's an athlete.
Yeah, they lost to a Saginaw Valley squad that is really starting to raise eyebrows across the GLIAC last week. Saginaw Valley, I mean, you said they were good this year, but my goodness, they're looking really, really good.
Well, they were picked, behind Michigan Tech, this year, and that first game that they played last year or this year, a week ago, that was a non-league scheduled game. So the next time they play again, it's going to be a tall order for them to duplicate what they did with Tech, and that was a pretty good game, entertaining game as well. There were some big plays in that game that actually got Saginaw to where they were with the victory. But other than that, man, those guys were pretty much even.
Yeah, it was even midway through the second quarter. Yeah.
But that's how it is in the GLIAC. You can't breathe. It's a suffocating conference, and two Techs. I tell you what, defensively, every year it just seems like they're young defensively. A lot of people don't know how young they are. They got veterans on their offense, and their defense is young, and they're picking up right where they left off. They lost some key performers, but they have players on that team that got time last year. But Olsen's he's building another team where they can make a serious run here.
All right, well, it's a 12 noon kickoff, and one of the things that we want to mention, you mentioned it before we went on, is how great it was not only to see your team play so well last Saturday, but to look on the Davenport side and see the stands filled across the way there, and what a great part that was. Jason mentioned what a good boost that was to the players.
It's 2 weeks in a row. It's 2 weeks in a row, and it's amazing because I got an email before I came here about parking, and I just kind of smile.
Nice problem to have.
It's
right?
a nice problem to have. That's a university problem, but for me, as a coach, I just kind of smiled about it and just said, well, that's another good sign. So we expect incredible weather. and our fans have been amazing, and our players are fired up and excited. And we know, though, what's going to be getting off the bus. We got a team that's complete on special teams, on defense, and on offense, and we're going to have another great effort in order to bring this one home.
All right, 12 noon kickoff. You want to be there for that one. Get there early and get those parking situations taken care of. Be a part of this excitement of this undefeated football team. Saturday afternoon, 12 noon, against Michigan Tech in a GLIAC opener for both squads. That'll wrap it up here today for the Davenport coaches. So thanks to Chris Hughes, the men's soccer coach, for stopping by and joining us.
The legend.
Yeah, fantastic job he's doing. Jason Whitaker, your quarterback, who came on. Good to meet and get to know a little bit more about him. So that'll wrap it up again. And so for Coach Sparky McEwen, I'm Rick Berkey saying thanks for joining us, and go Panthers.